Hey guys, welcome to episode 9 of Records Near Me. This time we're visiting Better Days in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'll be speaking with owner Ben Jones, who's been doing this his whole life and loving every minute of it. He has so many good stories to tell, and he did so on the floor of an empty hallway, which happened to be the only quiet place we could find. So stay tuned for some words of wisdom from Ben Jones himself.
Records near me, let's go and see what lies behind a record store's mind. If you're lost, get found. Take in the sound. It's the place to go when you're feeling low. So, if you don't mind, I'll share what we find. I'll make a podcast, so all this will last. If you're lost, get found. Take in the sound. It's the place to go. So let's start the show.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Records Near Me. Today I'm joined by Ben Jones, owner of Better Days, right here in Louisville, Kentucky. So how's it going today?
Hey, pretty good. I'm glad you had me on today and tracked me down. So ask me whatever you like.
All right, okay. So tell me about your first major memory of music. What stands out to you?
Ooh, here's what's really crazy is I come from a musical family, and I'm of 8 brothers and sisters, 4 girls and 4 boys.
Wow.
And my mother, which is a singer and a poet, my dad, contractor, and our alarm clock was the stereo turning on, and my mom would play a record to wake us up, Motown record or a blues record. And our biggest record was Bright Light Big Cities. That's how she liked to wake us up. So my earliest memory would be like early pre-kindergarten, grade school. Would love to listen to records, and my mom then would play me records all the time.
Wow.
And like I said, then I developed a love of the piano and the organ, and I started playing at church at an early age. Like I think I started at 8 or 9 years old.
Wow.
Play by ear, pick up the piano, and was playing for my little youth choir like at 9 years old, 10 years old.
Wow.
So I've always had music in my soul. So I've always known that the music part, something to do with music, would be my whole life.
Wow, that's awesome. And when did you first start working at a record store?
Once I started playing and was actually in the music industry, that means played for some really, really great gospel choirs, gospel soloists, and my parents and my sister would just buy me all kinds of records. I actually got into DJing at probably 12 and 13.
Wow.
So I started doing parties, no weddings, but I'm talking about little house parties. I was a guy that like everybody was like, oh man, Ben's got all the records. His mom buys him records, his sister sends him records, his brother comes, they lived all over the country because I'm next to the last. So I had all these great records in a little small town, Stanford, Kentucky, Lincoln County, one stoplight. So I was the guy that had all the records from everywhere, New York,
At 12
Chicago.
years old. That's amazing.
At 12, 13, 14, I was playing in a barn when I was in the 8th grade.
Oh my God.
Bringing my stereo out, and people were like, oh man, we love what he plays. So anyway, so I always knew I needed to knew what music was about.
Yeah.
So I was in the early stages of making what they would call mixtapes, on 8-track.
Yeah.
So me and my brother was like, hey, why don't you record your shows? When you DJ. So he figured out a way to record our shows or the songs that people love. And we started selling. He would drive me. He was a couple years older than I was, and he would drive me around. And every time we done a show, we had to take an order for a mixtape. So that's when I knew, like, oh man, I can be in the business too.
That's so awesome.
So that got my wheels turning. Like, oh man, people love me choosing music. I love turning people on to music. And I knew, like, oh, this is what I want to do. Sing, be a musician, DJ, something to do with the industry. Okay, move forward, graduate, go to college, meet 2 people, me DJing, and they go, man, you know so much about music. let's just open a record store.
Wow.
It was just that crazy. I'm like, in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'm like, we will open a record store? Yes, let's just open a record store. You love music and you own thousands of records. And
Wow.
my first partners, they own thousands of records. I'm like, we could start a record store. I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we had a friend of ours to open up a record store for us and had 3 partners. That lasted for my freshman year. So I started like when I was 19.
Wow, that's amazing.
19, 20. And then once I knew the business and once it actually turned into like a real business, I did quit college, or I wouldn't say dropped out. It's kind of like, hey, we make a living. I'm still DJing. I'm still singing. I'm still performing. This is what I do.
Yeah.
So then I learned the business. Like, people love me turning them on to stuff. And then I found out, like, back in the day, you called someone up. And I would call up these other DJs that worked at record companies and say, well, what's going on in New York? What's going on in Chicago? And they're like, Ben, this is what's happening here. This is what's happening there. And I'm like, well, I own my own record store. Let's try. And this was really cool. This was something we really started. Was I'm like, if you didn't send me a promo, it doesn't matter. If I order 3 pieces, 5 pieces, 10 pieces, I'm going to open one up and I'm going to turn somebody on to it. Because the guys already let me listen to it on the phone.
Yeah.
And I became the store. Man, this dude will play a record for you. And even if we don't know it, he's going to turn us on to it. He's going to open it up and play it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how playing a record for someone that I liked, that I chose, and people just fell in love with,
That's amazing.
the way that I like to turn them on to all kinds of music, not just dance or not just club music, all kinds of music.
Yeah.
So with that, that's how I understood how an independent record store worked. So I was in the early game of developing what we called independent record stores.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I would just call up friends, hey, you got a record out? Your record's good. I'm going to sell your record.
Wow.
And we would sell 100 records or 300 records or 500 records. And we wasn't even interested in were they going to be million sellers. We just found 300, 400, 500 people we loved.
Yeah.
And that's how that whole independent record world became. And so my friends and their friends, then they started wholesaling their records, indie records. And that's how the whole indie record world came about, was like just friends and family, kind of like what's going on now, the resurge.
Yeah.
But we started with, we didn't even want popular records. So we would buy early REM records, early. I mentioned REM because that would be one of
Athens,
Athens, and then I got in touch with like Athens people, and I would get Uncle Tupelo, I would get Lone Justice, I would get all these indie records, and my store became. Then that's when the whole college thing. Then I started sending a list to like college campuses, Better Days, top 20 indie, and they was like, oh man, we'll just play these on college radio. And I understood that whole college radio thing.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it kind of grew from there. We was in on the whole independent industry world. So with that, then I knew like, I can sell or turn people on to music.
Yeah.
For the rest of my life.
Oh yeah.
Because there's always going to be a new piece
calling.
There's always knew it.
That's amazing.
So I've never felt like that worked.
That's such a great feeling. Most people never experience that.
And when they ask, even my employees always try to put me in a category of, well, this is how they do. I'm like, well, I've never. See, again, it's like, well, we started a record store because we said, let's start a record store. Yeah. We turned people records that wasn't a major seller. That's what our record store is we start from nothing to make something.
Yeah.
So that means every day we come to, if you want to call it work, we always can turn someone on to something they don't know. Yeah. There's hundreds out here.
Wow.
So once we adopted that's the Better Days way, and before I go to Better Days, because then that was another store, So then once I got out of college, then I moved to Louisville, because again, I was starting to plan gigs, DJing all over the United States. Louisville was a bigger city than Bowling Green. Landed here in Louisville with a guy that played organ with me at church, and he's like, man, you you would have a better chance in Louisville.
Yeah.
Crazy. Then I meet this guy like, I'm looking for a partner. You are? I already have a store at Belgrade. He's like, you do? And I'm like, yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, well, my other partner is moving to Nashville. I want to move to Louisville. I can just leave, So we partnered up here.
Mm-hmm.
I was with him 6 months. He decided he didn't even really, really, really want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, I really, really want to do it. He's like, well, buy me out.
Amazing.
And then it was a horrible buyout because then we were best friends, but he just couldn't like give up his part. So we had a bad first migraine headache I ever had. It was like, you mean you just don't want me? I'll buy it and we don't part ways. It didn't part ways nice, and that's when I learned another part of the business. Do I want partnerships, or do I want friendships, or do I want? And then I'm like, you know what? When I buy the store solo, so in '79, I bought the name and and this little store was only $50 a month rent.
Wow.
It was in a house and it was a living room.
Oh my gosh.
So it wasn't a big store. So it was like, okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I paid $4,000 for the original Better Days.
Oh my goodness.
In 1980.
Crazy. Wow.
And then it grew from there, especially when they knew like, oh, you by yourself? I was solo. And then I just started turning people on to. In Louisville, I was the first guy to have dance records, 12-inch singles. I was the first guy to have a hardcore section. I was the first guy to introduce punk. I love selling independent records.
Wow.
So that was that whole part of like, all right. And then by me being the black dude who understood all parts of the game, then my other psychology side of the game was like, hey, in my black neighborhood, where my sister is, where I am, at first, there's really no black record store that's just as eclectic. Meaning, hey, call on some old blues guys, some young blues guys, old gospel, young gospel, that someone might think is not good, whatever. I'm like, okay, let me do the same thing. I mean, like, take the whole rock and roll experience that I learned in the business, do the same thing in an urban or a black neighborhood, independent black records. Oh, it went crazy.
Wow.
I could sell tons of local stuff. They're like, you can sell my record? I'm like, yeah, it's good. So here I'm selling local church records. No one had but me.
Wow.
Selling local soloists. No one had but me.
Oh my gosh. And they're telling everybody they know.
And they
go down to Better Days, grab my record.
That guy will even make a record for you. That guy will even put your records in.
Wow.
And then when rap came around, it exploded because independent rap was the thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And I was selling all these independent rap records, and here when you had a major label, you didn't have to thrive off of a major label, nothing.
Yeah.
So I was like always crazy about, man, this is crazy. I am selling people records. I'm doing everything I want to do, and I'm doing
helping other people.
And pure community.
Amazing. Helping other people achieve their
dreams. Their dreams.
Oh my gosh.
And still to this day, that's the reason why, hey, how are you still in business? I'm like, well, because you all own it.
Yeah.
I'm just responsible for it. So it means I'm still a servant to the game. I listen. I love the chaos. And I love the controlled chaos. I love the bull side of it, because like, oh, the people who are real, and we look right through it.
Yeah. All
day long, every day.
Wow.
And then unless you've done your own store, then it's like, man, you really, this might sound crazy, but you learn how to, the psychology of music is crazy to where we got so good. And this is not ego trip, but this is funny. We can even actually have people say, hey, what's that song they playing on the radio right now? I'm like, ma'am, sir, we don't even have a radio on. I'm like, oh, but if it's real popular, what's it kind of saying? Oh, it's this person. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
So we learned to like, oh, okay. We got to like, we got to learn how like, we almost have to imagine. We make the record store like, oh my God. And then plenty of people, well, how do you do it? I'm like, if you get it asked long enough and where you think that's a crazy question. I'm thinking like, oh, no, that's what Better Days is about. They'll come in with just parts of something. Oh, it kind of goes, I'm like, all right, this is, because I know I've sold that record.
Yeah.
Or that CD. And like, oh, I know that there's not that many of them out there. So I know that person on the street turned them on to that record that they had to get from me.
So what is your process when you're trying to pick out like the perfect thing to recommend? Do you ask them any questions, or do you just look at them and know?
I can look at you.
You can just look and know?
Mm-hmm. And I can look at you and say, like if you went downstairs and say, man, I want just something I've never heard of and I'm going to enjoy.
Yes.
It won't take me much to tell you, like, oh, this is so safe, so easy, and you obviously like all kinds of music.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously do, or you would never even ask me a question. Well, how did you get started?
Yeah.
This wouldn't even interest you. Like record store at 22. You gotta remember, I'm 62. So how many more years? And I started my store when I was 19, even younger than you. I started messing with music when I was even younger than you.
When I was like 19, 18, I was probably just like partying or something.
And the thing is, I was partying, but I was the party.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you
See,
were.
I was
the
party. So I learned that, like, oh man, I can go to every party if I play the records.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they need you, though there is no party without you.
If I played the party, I can go to every one of them. I've never paid to go. I've never paid to go to any club.
Oh my gosh, no, they pay you.
They pay me, or once it turned into business, like or if they see me online, hey, Ben,
we could use you. Oh my gosh, that's.
If they can't use, it's like, again, we built up the reputation, all the above. That like, so there's nothing wrong with being loved. There's nothing wrong with loving. It's just understanding the balance. Just understand the balance where music is so important to you. So important. Quit acting like it's not. Don't worry about black music, white music, country music. It's just music. Like what you like. The only music that's in the world is what you listen to.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with, do you listen to it and do you enjoy it? It's yours. My record store is a ministry to the world. The ministry to me, the ministry to whoever comes in. Well, how do you do it? Well, how I do it is because you're in the door.
Yeah, how'd you get here?
As soon as you got in the door, that's how I do it. Well, what do you do? Well, I'm getting ready to sell you hopefully a piece of music. Well, how do you know? Well, I'm getting ready to show you. Well, what? Quit trying to find a negative in it. You came in to be served by a part of the soundtrack that you want to develop in your life. So if I can't be the guru, see, I don't want to put a name on it, but if I can't be the guy who can help you, again, I'll be like, hey, that's your problem.
So this is the second location. And then where the other location is?
The other location would be what we would, it is in the Highlands of Louisville. It's on Barrett Avenue. That would be called our Highlands. And that would be more of the arty community. But I opened it there again for the eclecticism as a black man. See, that's another part. I can't change for being a black guy who loves all music. And I have a white staff. And this is funny, great for the podcast. There's never been a white person come in and say, you the owner? Talking to me. They always point to the white guy. Always. And you would think like, oh my God. And my people get mad at the customer. And I'm like, no. That's what privilege is. They're gonna think their world. That's not a bad thing. I just know how to wear the hat. Because I'm just responsible for it. Oh, y'all own it. I'm just responsible for it. Because whatever financial gain or love of the game, that still comes to me when I go home and go to sleep. One of the good things, hopefully someone hears this and understands, man, if you can go to sleep at night, you have accomplished most all things in life if you can go to sleep without any help. Meaning like rest your mind, your soul, and get up the next day. And that's what at 61 I still can do. I tell my sister and them all the time, it is crazy. I go to bed grinning.
That's awesome.
I catch myself grinning about something that I done said or seen.
The only reason I can't sleep is because I'm excited about something the next day. That's the only time I have trouble sleeping.
Well, and So that means you have a balanced soul. That means you're working on it every day. Like, I'm excited about going to the next thing. And that's where,
I do try to
again,
work
by me
on
being
that.
on stage the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, this is what I do. I am always on stage of life. So that means I always keep a door open for
Yeah.
inventing, keeping it moving. One of my slogans is keep it moving.
Keep it moving. I like that. Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Everything is keep it moving. Keep it moving. I do that in my show all the time. Keep it moving with me.
Yeah.
And people say, what? No, just keep it moving. Don't ask no question. If you look back, that means you're going backwards. That means you're going, but if you keep going forward, moving, you ain't got time to think about what we just done 15 seconds ago. We're ready to go on to the next. and then that's where you use your mind. When you go to bed, think about, reflect, grin. Oh my God, do you remember? Because that's what music is. Music is for your soul, so you can kind of like, I remember what I was doing when I loved that song.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what I was doing when that song was tragic.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when that person that song was playing. See, again.
Yeah. The songs have memories.
You see, until you know, like, oh my God, it is a soundtrack of your life.
Oh yeah, I definitely say that all the time. Soundtrack to life.
It is a soundtrack.
Yeah, everybody has their own soundtrack.
Everybody has their own soundtrack. And then those who love music, you're always trying to create it.
Mm-hmm.
See, before the day over, you're going to find a song that's a part of the soundtrack of your life.
Give me some essential albums that you can't miss in your life, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. It's not a matter of whose album or what album. It's what sound can you digest at the same time. What how comfortable are you with your brain registering tones? You know, when someone says jazz, well, there's so many definitions of jazz, no different than abstract to it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what can you actually listen to? Because if you can't listen to Miles Davis,
I can, by the way.
and if you can, but you know, even with that said, I could play your Miles Davis record, be like, oh, I can't stand it.
I doubt it.
Okay. Unless you've listened.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Okay, then you might have got me. That means then you are definitely musically eclectic, thinking, no boundary. You love all tones.
Yeah, it's kind of rare that I hear something that I don't
That you don't
like.
Yeah, because you're not
Very
because you're not going into it to dislike anything.
Yeah, going in to discover new things.
Yeah, so if you want to discover, so like for me, when we go downstairs, and since you're in the R&B store, there'll be some basic soul things. In fact, I'm going to turn you on to a gospel thing.
All right.
Because the gospel thing in most white America, they don't understand. Well, that's where the soul of all of it comes. Our culture is part of the invention of stuff. The business comes with like those who take it and steal it and da-da-da. And then that's when we go like, well, they took, that's life. It's never not been that way. Ever. Now's the time your generation is understanding history.
Yeah,
And you begin and you're learning like, man, all this stuff I listen to is not new if I go back to just the roots of music. Even with country, invented by black folks. Even with folk, invented by black plantation singers. Even with, rock. Invented with the blues. I mean, so it's like that world, the privileged world, just took the culture and made it into a business. And that's why I stay saddened that there's not 500 of these or 1,000 of these. Because I can name 1,000 white owners over the years. Thousands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good gracious. There's just the other day, just record store day was not that long ago, and they tried to find black-owned record stores. Here in 2021, I just done an interview, they could only find 38 black-owned record stores.
In all
of the United States.
Oh my God.
And I own 2 of them.
That's not even one in every state.
Not even one in every state. They all sell black music. But what black people sell black music?
Yeah.
Very few of us.
Wow.
I have a soul store and I have a rock store that sells everything. But my soul store, sells soul. You ain't gonna never see nothing that big.
Mm-hmm.
Because you probably know, like, no, that's all R&B and soul.
Mm-hmm.
Under one roof. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but it's awesome.
Yeah, and that's cool. It's kind of, it's organized. It's kind of funky, and it's kind of looks like all the other stores.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll do the test when you go down. Like,
Oh God.
name me 100 people you know.
Oh no.
And you I don't know about them.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the
Oh,
time.
I enjoyed it. We'll do another. You'll come back through.
Oh my gosh, I would love to.
We'll do another. We'll do a phone one. We'll do something where it's like,
Yeah.
all right, well, hit me. But I will be interested. It'd be interesting now that you know a little bit of statistics and know a black store versus white store.
Yeah.
How do you deal with both worlds?
Mm-hmm.
And know this music is everybody's language. It just depends on how smart, how eclectic, how aware you want to stay.
Mm-hmm.
It just will make you a better person. It make
Yeah.
you sleep at night. Just stay aware.
Yeah.
But that's what I love already
Always
about
trying
you.
to learn.
Always trying to, because if you want to use that turnaround, I'm always trying to learn, then you'll never die.
Yeah.
You will never die. You will never die. Because whoever knows you will say, oh, she always wanted to learn. So that means your thought, that next generation, is still keeping what you say alive.
Wow.
You will never die. I'm never going to die to you. When they say, Ben died 50 years from now, when you know that you still live, and you remember, keep it moving.
Yeah,
So that means
I will remember
he's not
that.
dead.
Keep it moving.
Thanks for listening, folks. I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. Now, we're approaching the end of Season 1 of Records Near Me, so next up will be a 2-part finale featuring Wuck Street Records in my old home of Athens, Georgia. So, make sure you like or follow Records Near Me on your favorite listening platform to stay updated, and please feel free to share it with any music lovers. So, I'll see you next time, and don't forget to keep it moving. And for those of you wondering how an amateur like me can randomly decide to make a podcast, I've been using Anchor by Spotify. It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. And it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Best of all though, Anchor is totally free. So if you want to make a podcast like me, just download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get